So I'm a senior in high school now, and throughout my whole 4 years of being here, I haven't dated anybody. Not because I'm afraid to talk to girls or something like that. I just, for whatever reason, have been always focused on my own stuff, and that's a whole nother story. But I've just been way too occupied with my own happenings. But this year, in the last couple of months, I just kind of have decided, what the heck? I think it's time I put myself out there a little. And like I said, I'm not particularly afraid of, approaching girls. And also, when I decide I'm ready to do something, I kind of just tend to just jump straight in. I kind of just go head first. So in the last, I guess like 2-3 months now, I've just asked out, 3 girls. I guess you could call it asking them out. The first 2 were just random girls I saw out in public that I thought were pretty, and I just asked if I could give them my phone number. And both of those times kind of flopped. But that's to be expected. It didn't really bother me. And then this third girl is a girl that I've been going to school with for a long time now, which is why I was more hesitant to do anything because there's a lot more pressure with if it goes wrong, then you still got to see this person at school, and I just didn't want it to be awkward. That was really my fear. So I kind of didn't do anything about it. One, because I don't see her that much at school, and the times I do are not really ideal for spitting game, if you will. And then 2, because it wasn't like a really pressing matter anyway. Like, I thought she was pretty, I always have. And now it's not like I had a real crush on her or anything. I just, because I'm in this new phase where I'm trying to evaluate my situation a little more and be a little more open-minded to putting myself out there, that's why she came up on my mind. But it wasn't super urgent. And like I said, I don't really see her outside of school very much, so I think the only other option really would be to like text her or something or Snapchat. And I'm not the most suave when it comes to texting. I don't know why. I just prefer to be in person. I don't know. And but I don't really see her outside of school, so that's why that was another thing that just kind of made me not act on this. But then just like a week and a half ago, I was like, I don't really care. I'm just gonna text her because there's no other real opportunity to talk to her. Anyways, I won't really get into the details of all that. But needless to say, I threw up a shot. It was in the air for a minute. It kind of hit the rim, rolled around, and then bounced out of the hoop. Yeah, it didn't work out. She wasn't feeling me. But the biggest thing now is that it doesn't hurt as bad as I thought it would, and it hasn't been awkward. And so when I was in that kind of hesitation period for so long of being a little worried about what making a move would do and how it would make things awkward, I really blew that up in my head, what those stakes were. It's really not very awkward at all. I still see her at school. I still say hi, and we're both cool. I asked what I wanted to ask. She gave me the response that she gave, and it's cool. Like, if you're in that place where you're kind of debating whether or not you're gonna make a move in this type of situation, you really gotta weigh the pros and cons and ask yourself what it is you fear in the worst case scenario. Like I said, I was afraid of making things awkward. I was not really afraid of her saying no as much. Like, I'm not too afraid of rejection itself. It doesn't, it hurts. Like, it hurts anybody, but that's not my biggest fear. My worst fear is to make it an awkward situation, which I think a lot of people can relate to. But try to really imagine in your head the worst case scenario outcome of asking a girl out, and I think you will realize it can't. How awkward could it be? You gotta remember, being attracted to somebody, that's not a crime. You're not doing anything wrong by putting yourself out there and telling someone, it's obviously you got to do it respectfully. But if you just tell them how you feel in a respectful way, not pushy, nothing, just if you just kind of cast your line, so to speak, that's kind of a soft way to say it. There's nothing wrong with that. And the answer is going to be pretty quick in most cases. I can't really think of many scenarios where it would be a mixed answer. They either would be interested in exploring that idea with you, or they're not going to be interested in you. And those results are going to be like that, and it's going to feel really good to get that out of the way. I remember when I was a little kid, being in like elementary school, especially middle school a little bit, there was this whole idea of like having a crush on somebody. Just this idea that you have feelings for someone, but you're just going to hide it away and not really talk about it and hope that maybe, someone's going to whisper about it on the playground, or somehow your message is going to get delivered to this person vicariously through other people. And I guess up until I was like 13 or 14, I was terrified of ever expressing a feeling like that to a girl. And so I would just take it and keep it inside and just like let it like get so much worse, with never seeing results. And now, looking back, I just think that's such a stupid, obviously childish way to act. And there's a reason kids do that, it's just schoolyard stuff. But my point is, if you are growing up and still doing that, I really think you got to let that go and you got to change your ways. If you think you might even maybe have an inkling of a feeling for someone, you're attracted to someone, I think you should keep it as simple as it is in that baby stage before it's really formed in anything else, and just put it out there. Tell that person, ask that person out. Keep it simple. It's not, you don't know what it is. And like I said, that person will probably tell you right then and there whether or not they are interested too and want that to continue at all. And those are like instant results. If it's a no, you can move on. It's great. You feel good. You gained a little confidence, work that muscle a little. And if it is, that's even something else. But the bottom line is you don't have to hold it inside and let it be a terrible question mark that goes unresolved and bothers you. Let me tell you something else about awkwardness, right? Like I said, I've really been kind of gathering these awkward interactions with girls like they're infinity stones. I've been collecting them. But, of course I have certain things that I can't help but replay and think, put my palm to my face and think about how I could have done it better. But I tell you what, it don't take up that much mental capacity in here. It feels so much better to have done it. And here's what I was going to say about awkward stuff. Like I was telling you, I still got to keep showing up to school every day, keep seeing that one girl. And it's not a problem. Because here's the thing about awkward situations. An awkward situation requires two people, both parties, to agree that something is awkward. So if you're ever in a situation that you feel like is going to be awkward, that you're afraid of being awkward, remember that the other person, the other girl, the other whoever, has no idea what's going on in your head. And you are perfectly allowed to just say, I don't know about you, but I'm not feeling awkward about this. I don't really want to. It's exhausting. I'm just going to do my thing over here and relax. I'm cool. I'm moving on. If you're still awkward about this, if you're all nervous over there, that's your story. I'm stay away from me with that. Now, obviously that's an easier said than done kind of thing. But awkwardness is totally mental. And you can totally put on your game face and say, nah, I don't want to be awkward about this. It's exhausting. I didn't do anything wrong here. Bottom line, don't keep things in here. Don't keep things in here. If you feel something, you have to share it with the world. I mean, that's really the only thing you're good for, right? Because your head, your existence feels like such a big, cluttered space, and it's so consuming to you that you think it's going to have an equally big impact on everyone else around you. But the truth is that no one can see into that space. So no one will ever know what's going on in there if you don't share it. And two, people don't really care that much. The worst you can do is inspire them or teach them something. if they actually think you're boring, or if they actually think you're weird, which are your two biggest fears, they're just gonna forget you. They're just gonna ignore you. So try it out. I mean, it feels pretty good as well to put yourself out there in this way. And this could be with girls, chasing dreams, anything that feels high risk, that you're nervous about, that you care about. Putting yourself out there feels good, even if you get rejected, almost especially if you get rejected. You feel, and maybe I'm just speaking from personal experience here, but I feel more connected, I feel more in tune with the world when I do something like that, because I take dreams that only exist in here and I at least attempt to bring them into the actual physical plane. And just doing that is such a huge relief. I think the farther you let your dreams get away from reality, the more of a big burden they become. And it really weighs you down. Also, it gets way, way, way easier and way, way less scary every time you do it. And truthfully, maybe you guys have experienced this. This is more of a, I guess, a silly thing to say. But when I get rejected, whether it's from a girl, from something else, just some circumstance where I put my cards on the table, put my chips in the middle, and it ends up not working out. Personally, it sounds a little funny to say this, I feel like a movie character, a protagonist when they're at their low, when they're getting beaten down. And that's kind of when, as an audience member, you love that character the most, and you're really rooting for him. Like, you just know his arc is coming, that he's going to be on top in the next half hour or so. I love that feeling. I really do. Obviously, it hurts still, but I like it. I don't know. Does anyone else share this? When they are getting kind of beaten down by the universe, when they've done their piece and it still didn't kind of work out, I'm like, oh, I'm going to show you. Just wait till my arc. Just wait till I'm in the big time. So don't let your dreams be dreams. Don't let a pretty face become a crush. That's tragic. Just get it all out. Let that be a quick crash to bang. There doesn't really have to be much planning. That's just my opinion, and obviously I'm in the middle of this process right now, so I can't actually say I know what the hell I'm talking about. I could be an idiot. But this is just what I'm experiencing while I'm in the thick of it. Let me know what you guys think. If there's any people out there with more experience than I that want to chime in, I'd be delighted to hear it. Because there's so many unknowns in this open world map we're living in. And I'm just trying to keep getting as much XP as I can so I can keep leveling up.